Our topic is dielectric constant. This dielectric constant is indicating with the letter K. We know when a dielectric material is placed between a capacitor plates, here the capacity of the condenser increases without any breakdown. So from this we can write or define dielectric constant K as nothing but the ratio of capacity of a condenser with dielectric to the capacity of the same condenser without dielectric is said to be dielectric constant. Here the dielectric constant for capacitance is said to be, it is the ratio between capacity of a condenser with dielectric medium to the capacity of the same condenser without dielectric is said to be dielectric constant. We can write capacity of a condenser with dielectric to capacity of same condenser N without dielectric is said to be dielectric constant here. In the similar manner, we can write potential difference between 2 points also defined by this dielectric constant as K equal to V naught by Vd. It means the ratio of potential difference between 2 points without dielectric to potential difference between 2 points with dielectric medium is also said to be a dielectric constant. Then we can write it as potential difference between 2 points without dielectric to potential difference between 2 points with dielectric is also said to be dielectric constant. In the similar manner, if we consider this dielectric constant for permittivity of the materials, then we can write K equal to epsilon by epsilon naught. It means the ratio of the ratio of permittivity of dielectric material to permittivity of free space. It means without dielectric. Permittivity of without dielectric is also said to be dielectric constant. Dielectric constant for permittivities can be written as permittivity of dielectric material to permittivity of dielectric without dielectric material is also said to be dielectric constant. And also we can write a dielectric constant for force between 2 point charges, also defined as the ratio between force without dielectric medium or free space to force between 2 points with the dielectric medium is also said to be dielectric constant. Then we can write F naught equal to force between 2 points without dielectric to force between 2 points with dielectric is also said to be dielectric constant. So dielectric constant for capacitors and for potential differences and for permittivities of the medium and also force between 2 points can be defined as follows. Okay, I hope you are following this dielectric constant. It is just a ratio. Okay, we go for the next topic, which is dielectric susceptibility. This dielectric susceptibility, indicating with the letter psi, it is written as this and pronounced as psi. Here we know when a dielectric material is placed in electric field, hence it is polarized. Hence the polarization factor is proportional to the field electric strength. Hence from that we can write P directly proportional to E. Here the polarization is proportional to the electric field strength, hence P is directly proportional to E. Here this proportionality is replaced by a constant, then we can write P equal to some psi into E. Here psi is the electric susceptibility. From this, the electric susceptibility is defined as, here the ratio of polarization vector to electric field strength is simply said to be dielectric susceptibility. So here the susceptibility is for dielectric materials, then we can write psi e suffix e. Psi is nothing but ratio between polarization vector to electric intensity is simply said to be dielectric susceptibility. Now we prove the relation between this dielectric constant and electric susceptibility. Relation between dielectric constant and electric susceptibility. Here we know the electric susceptibility is nothing but psi e is equal to P by E. From this we can write polarization P equal to psi e of E. Okay, and also from Gauss law is applied to dielectrics, then electric field strength E is nothing but E equal to Q by K epsilon naught. Here we are applying this for dielectric material, then you can write electric constant as K, E equal to Q by K epsilon naught A. Here this Q by K A is nothing but D, then we can write D into this value as epsilon naught. Sorry, we just this value as Q by K A. Putting this side, K epsilon naught E is equivalent to Q by A, which is nothing but electric displacement D. Okay. We know the relation between three electric vectors, which is D bar is equivalent to P bar plus epsilon naught E bar. We already proved in the last session the relation between three electric vectors, which is D bar is equal to P bar plus epsilon naught E bar. Here we divide with E bar throughout this equation. We consider this as equation 1. Then the equation 1 becomes D bar by E bar is equivalent to P bar by E bar plus epsilon naught. Here E bar is cancelled. Therefore, we substituting these values of nothing but d bar as k epsilon naught e by e, and also p as psi e of e by e plus epsilon naught. Here this e term is cancelled. Then we write the equation as that implies k epsilon naught is equivalent to psi e plus epsilon naught. Here this is here in LHS epsilon naught, in RHS also epsilon naught. We can then put this epsilon naught to this side, then k into epsilon naught minus epsilon naught is equal to psi e. Therefore, we can write psi e is equivalent to just I rub it. Here this epsilon, putting this epsilon at time in this side is equal to psi e. Here this epsilon naught is common, then common on two terms, then we can write psi e equal to epsilon naught into k minus 1. This is the relation between dielectric constant and dielectric susceptibility. And also we prove from the relation d bar is equal to p bar plus epsilon naught e bar, as this d bar term as nothing but k epsilon naught e is equal to p bar plus epsilon naught e bar. Here this epsilon naught e bar is putting to this LHS, then we can write epsilon naught e is equal to p bar. So here epsilon naught e, epsilon naught e both are common. Then we write the equation as p bar is equal to epsilon naught e into k minus 1. This is also the relation between this polarization vector and dielectric constant. So by using these two relations, which is epsilon naught k minus 1 is equivalent to psi e, and also p bar is equal to epsilon naught e into k minus 1, we can solve problems using these formulas. Okay, we go for the next topic, which is very very important to our examinations, that is boundary conditions. That is nothing but boundary conditions. Here the boundary conditions are very very important. Our topic is boundary conditions. Here the rules governing the behavior of D and E at the dielectric medium are said to be boundary conditions. Here boundary conditions are two. The first boundary condition is the normal component of displacement vector is continuous across the charge free boundary, across the charge free boundary is said to be first boundary condition. The normal component of displacement vector is continuous across the charge free boundary is said to be first boundary condition. And the second boundary condition is the tangential components of electric intensities are same on both sides of the dielectrics is said to be second boundary condition. The second boundary condition is the tangential components of electric intensities are same on both sides of the dielectrics. First, we explain the first boundary condition, which is the normal component of displacement vector is continuous across the charge-free boundary. For explaining this boundary condition, we consider a boundary line in dielectric medium. Here this is a medium, then we draw a boundary line for this medium, then intersects the medium as 2. First part as, here's the boundary line is considered as AB, and it separates the dielectric medium as medium 1 and medium 2. Here, for explaining the first boundary condition, we consider a small pillbox shaped area. It means a cylindrical shaped area is nothing but pillbox. Here the end faces of the pillbox which are parallel to this boundary line. Here for calculating this first boundary condition, we consider a boundary line, then its boundary line divides the entire dielectric medium as 2, medium 1 and medium 2 with permittivities epsilon 1 and epsilon 2, and now we consider a pillbox shaped area which intersects the boundary with its end faces parallel to it. Here the ends of the pillbox as in spherical shape, the area is considered as ds and the height of the pillbox is treated as h. Here the electric displacement vectors for this pillbox shaped area are considering, first we draw a normal to this area pillbox as n1 for first medium and n2 for the second medium. Here the displacement vectors for this medium as d1 for the first medium, which makes an angle theta 1 with this normal, and d2 for the second medium, it makes an angle theta 2. Here we draw a normal to this pillbox shaped area and we consider the displacement vectors for the first medium as d1 and for the second medium as d2, and for the first medium it's making an angle theta 1 with the normal, and for the second medium it's making an angle theta 2. Here the end faces are parallel to this boundary line, hence the end faces contributes the electric flux here. Here for the first medium, the normal component of for the first medium is nothing but d1n. Here we know according to Gauss law, the flux contributing in the closed surface of this end face of the boundary for the pillbox shaped area is nothing but, we applying Gauss law here, then we can write closed integral E dot ds is equivalent to q by epsilon naught. Therefore this E is constant and we take this in epsilon naught value to LHS side, then we can write E bar dot epsilon naught into ds is equal to q. So this E dot epsilon naught, which is nothing but electric displacement, then we can write this value as closed integral d dot ds, displacement vector ds into ds is nothing but equivalent to charge q. Here the charge encloses in this surface which is equivalent to nothing but closed integral of d dot ds. It means the displacement vector and the area ds, which is equivalent to charge enclosed in within that area, small area ds for the pillbox, which is treated as equation 1. Okay, we consider the normal component for the first medium for the displacement vector d1, which is leaving the pillbox which is leaving the pillbox, here the flux contributes for the first medium leaving the pillbox is treated as positive. Hence, we can write this value as d1n1, which is equivalent to d1n. And also for the second medium, the normal component of displacement vector for the second medium, which is entering the pillbox for the ds area as negative. Here the flux always leaving the area is considered as positive and entering the area is treated as negative. Then we can write d2 n2 d2 n, this value as. So from this, here according to Gauss law, the flux enclosed within the surface as ds area is nothing but equivalent to charge enclosed within that ds area. From Gauss law statement, we can write this charge value is equivalent to flux encloses through area ds1 and this area ds2 we considered. Therefore, d1n minus d2n is equivalent to enclosed charge as nothing but here this is considered for this ds area, then we can write ds also d1n dot ds minus d2n dot ds, which is equivalent to q. Okay, therefore here d1n minus d2n is equivalent to q by ds, nothing but q by ds, charge by this ds is area. Then for the small element of the pillbox, then it is nothing but equivalent to charge density. Then we can write d1n minus d2n is equal to sigma. Here our statement is the normal component of displacement vector is continuous across the charge free boundary. Here the boundary is charge free, it means sigma is treated as 0. Then this equation becomes d1n is equal to d2n. So, the normal component of displacement vector is continuous across the charge free boundary is explained by considering this pillbox shaped area which is parallel to the end faces of this boundary line. We go for the second boundary condition, which is the tangential components of electric intensities are same on both sides of the dielectric media. For this, we consider a rectangular shaped area. Here, the rectangular have longest sides, which is nothing but here the rectangle is PQRS named as. Here, the boundary line interfaces the medium as with permittivities epsilon 1 and epsilon 2, and this one as medium 1 and this one as medium 2. Here we draw a normal for this rectangular area as for the first medium as n1 and for the second medium as n2. Here the electric intensities for the first medium is E1 and for the second medium is E2. Here the angle between these mediums for the first medium is theta 1, for the second medium is theta 2. Here the rectangular longest sides PQ and RS only contributes, and the shortest sides nothing but QR and SB which are neglected. Then the total work done for this entire longest sides PQRS can be considered as closed integral E dot dl is its work done. Hence dW is nothing but here the flux contributes for this areas is nothing but this electric intensities are for the longest sides only. Here the shortest sides are neglected. Then we can write closed integral E dot dl is equivalent to dW. From this we can write here the tangential component of electric intensities for the first medium as E1 dot L, E1 dot dl sin theta 1. Here normal means E1 dot dl sin theta 1 is equivalent to E dot E1 dot dl. For the second medium, we can write the tangential components of electric intensities are E2 dot dl sin theta 2 E2 dl. So here the work done must vanish through this longest sides, hence we can write E1 dl minus E2 dl is equivalent to 0 because the work done is vanished for this longest side areas. Therefore E1 equivalent to E2. It means here our aim is the tangential component of electric intensities is same on both sides of the dielectric media. Hence the work done for this longest areas must be vanished. Then E1 dot dl minus E2 dot dl is equivalent to 0. Then automatically E1 dot dl is equal to E2 dot. Then we can write the intensities are same for the area. Hence we prove the second boundary condition, which is the tangential component of electric intensities are same on both sides of the dielectric media. So these are our topics in dielectric materials. So we doing some problems on explaining in the before as electric susceptibility and dielectric constant. Note down the first problem as here our problem is, if your dielectric constant of a medium is 3 and electric field intensity is 10 power 6 volt per meter, find the electric displacement. Here given the epsilon naught value, it means permittivity of free space value as 9 into 10 power minus 12. So in our problem we have a dielectric constant of a medium. E is nothing but we have the dielectric constant value as K equal to 3 and electric field intensity E as 10 power 6 volt per meter, and also find the electric displacement, and also given epsilon naught value as 9 into 10 to the power of minus 12. So we have to calculate this D value, nothing but electric displacement. So the electric displacement D is nothing but product of electric field strength and dielectric constant. Then we write D equal to K into epsilon naught E. Here K is the dielectric constant which is given in the problem, and epsilon naught also given and E also given. Then substituting these three values, we have D equal to K value as 3 and epsilon naught value as 9 into 10 to the power of minus 12 and E value as 10 power 6. Therefore D equal to by producting these values, we have D as 27 into 10 to the power of minus 6. The units for electric displacement is coulomb per meter square. This is our first problem. I hope you are following. Our next problem is the electric susceptibility of a material is 3 into 10 power minus 12 Newton meter square per coulomb square. Calculate the value of dielectric constant and absolute permittivity of the material. Here the epsilon naught value is also given 9 into 10 power minus 12 Fermi per meters. Okay. So we calculate this. So we write down first the data which is given as in our problem. Here the susceptibility is indicating with the letter psi. Its psi value as 36 into 10 power minus 12 Newton meter square per coulomb square, and also epsilon naught value as 9 into 10 to the power of minus 12. Here calculate the value of dielectric constant. So for calculating dielectric constant is indicating with the letter, then K is equal to how much? and also absolute permittivity. So absolute permittivity means epsilon naught. Okay, so first we calculate K value dielectric constant. K is, which is we already discussed in our last session, K value as 1 plus psi by epsilon naught. By substituting these terms, 1 plus psi value as we have 36 into 10 power minus 12 and epsilon naught value as 9 into 10 power minus 12. Here the units are same, don't change anything. Therefore, the value of K is nothing but 5. K here dielectric constant is ratio, we have no units. So which is our second problem. Then we go for our third problem, which is calculate the value of dielectric constant given that as permittivity in vacuum is 4 and permittivity of medium is 8. For solving this problem, 3, we have given permittivity in vacuum means epsilon naught value as 4 and permittivity of the medium is nothing but 8. So we know the ratio between permittivity of the medium to permittivity of free space is nothing but dielectric constant. Then K equal to epsilon by epsilon naught. By simplifying this, substituting, we have K equal to value as 2. So in this model, we have problems on dielectric constant and electric susceptibility. Okay, I hope you are following in this session. Thank you, students. Next session, we start next unit. Thank you very much.